Home prices are finally falling, but are there buyers to go out and buy the homes? Let's talk about it on Today in Mortgages. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the show. We're talking about what's real, what's hype, and what you should actually be paying attention to out there in the world of mortgage and real estate news. It's Today in Mortgage. I got Rich Jefferson back with me fresh off the Thanksgiving holiday. Rich, you have a good Thanksgiving?
Yeah, great Thanksgiving. It was good to get together with family and kind of put our crazy business behind us for a couple of days. But yeah, it was great. I hope yours was good too.
I don't know what's worse, crazy emails or crazy family members, but we're happy to be back regardless. And you know what I'm thankful for is some rosy outlook for 2024.
2023 has been a rough year.
Yeah.
A lot of adapting to this new, hopefully it's not a normal, but it's just been a tough haul, but we're getting through it. Got to do it with a little gratitude.
We're definitely thankful to have gotten through everything we've gotten through this year, and we're looking forward to next year. And we're looking at articles recently about things that are, either happening now or coming up. And one we pulled today was from Newsweek, and the title of that article is "House Prices Are Falling, but Are Buyers Biting?" And we've got a few stats in here, Rich, that I kind of want to talk through. But kind of the general gist of the article is that we're starting to see some of these positive indicators, but then every once in a while we see kind of these negative indicators as well. So I want to talk about that and what that means, if it means anything at all. So Rich, tell us kind of what we're seeing as far as home prices right now and why you think that's happening.
I don't believe it.
Okay.
Yes, I guess if you pick certain communities, towns, cities, and you say home prices are dropping, I'd believe it. If you said Nashville, Austin, Phoenix, Boise, Idaho, places where people rushed during the pandemic to buy second homes, to move their families when remote work was acceptable, those markets exploded. Now, maybe prices are coming down in those markets, but not your not your big markets. I mean, we're not seeing that pricing happening in Dallas or Houston or other cities around the nation. Other pieces. CoreLogic just released a piece. Home prices continue to rise. It's like, it's hard to take all this information and kind of dissect it because it's just not true what this article is saying. Yes, in certain markets, very small pockets around the country, they might be falling a little bit only because they just shot up like crazy in a short period of time. So no, I just don't believe it. The demand is still too high to have pricing fall.
Yeah, Rich, and I think you bring up a really good point. It's important to remember that maybe this trend's happening in some places, but if you look at what you said, home prices were through the roof over the past couple of years, and so yes, maybe they're evening out in some places. And B, this is not always the case if we're looking at the aggregate, or even if we're trying to look at and digest, like you said, contradictory reports. We've seen a lot of that over the past couple of months with, hey, jobs were up and then we were going to revise them down, or jobs were down, we're going to revise them up. I mean, some of this data you have to take with a grain of salt, but I think the most important thing you just said is that this is only happening if it's happening in certain
Mm-hmm.
areas. And anecdotally, I think you mentioned Houston, where I am. What we've seen is some of those neighborhoods who maybe their prices shot through the roof have always been less desirable neighborhoods, but people are just trying to get into
Right.
homes as fast as they could. Those neighborhoods are coming down a little
Mm-hmm.
bit, but anything that's remotely desirable here in town, prices are still going up. So I want to talk about declining sales. Rich, can you agree with that one?
Well, I think we always talk about this at this time of year, declining sales. People just don't want to move during the holidays. They got the Christmas trees up and they got Thanksgiving plans. So this is a time where not a lot of sales happen. In fact, it's a time when a lot of listings get removed from the MLS until after the first of the year, just to stop the traffic of people looking at the homes and that type of thing. So it's kind of a reset. December is like a reset month for real estate listings, and that's just what we're seeing. We see it every year.
Most definitely. I think that's super important to remember. The last thing I want to look at, though, is that new homes are actually up. So, Rich, that is a good sign, right?
Yeah, if they can build more, they just need to be building a lot more. And I did read in this piece that the new home prices have come down a little bit. And that
Mm.
that might be true for a lot of different factors. But one, your supply chain issues are not behind us, but mostly behind us. So what they were paying for plywood and toilets and all of that stuff, which drove the prices up, have come down just a little bit. Also, the builders are more engaged in buy downs for their buyers. They're using some of their profit to assist the buyer. So that's bringing the price down a little bit, but it's just, it's not going to stay there. Once rates come down a little bit more, in fact, many analysts have suggested high fives and low sixes is when things are really going to open up and you're going to start to see affordability get a little bit better. And more importantly, the people that can't afford it, that just hadn't wanted to at 8% interest rate, they're going to get out and get after it when it hits, mid sixes and below. So I expect to see some, I hope to see a really good spring in 2024.
Hey, I'm going to ride your coattails on that one, Rich. Taking all this together, taking what you said, hey, what's real, what's hype, like we always talk about here on the show. Talk to me about 2024. You're looking at a rosy spring. Tell me why. I mean, we have a lot of good indicators out there. Rates have leveled out and dropped in the last couple of weeks. Inflation, like we've seen in the market, has come down. There's a few other things. Talk to me about, what gives you that rosy outlook?
Demand. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that at the end of the day, supply and demand, that defines almost everything you know, in our lives. And, we're just at a position where even coming 2024, 25, 26, 27, your oldest Gen Z, so they're 27, 28 today, they're buying. That's a giant wave, the biggest wave of potential home buyers to come through since the baby boomers. So, home prices are going to do what they're going to do. There's only so many homes. They're not building them fast enough. We could have started 15 years ago with this problem, but we just haven't been building enough homes. So that's going to keep the demand high. The soon as rates come down a little bit, I think they're going to come to the table. The higher interest rate has to become the norm. And we're pretty much there. We just need to see somewhere in the sixes. I think it's going to help out a ton.
And like I said, a lot of those indicators are pointing in the direction of lower rates next year, higher inventory from new home builds, and also, like you said, just kind of accepting this new normal and understanding that, look, this is something I want to do. Eventually, I'm just going to have to bite the bullet and figure out a way to do it. And so we're trying to find creative ways to help people get into homes all the time. We're coaching our people on how to coach their buyers on how to get into homes. And so if you're interested in looking at how that coaching works and how you can get creative in your sales process as a loan officer, click the link below and we will send you some resources on how to team up with the best network in mortgages, network funding, to get ahead in the market. So, Rich, before we sign off, you have any final thoughts on just kind of what we're looking at this article and also what it looks like for next year?
The article is what it is. We're not seeing the
Mm-hmm.
price drops everywhere, just certain markets. And, they're talking about interest rates being in the high fives and low sixes in 2024. When in 2024, I don't know. I'm hoping for spring. Maybe it's summertime, but it looks like what the Fed has been doing to control inflation is working. We're starting to see all of these reports come in and we're trending in all the right directions. So hopefully the Fed just says, okay, we've done our job. Now let's start to wind down, because there's a lot of stuff that needs to be cleaned up right now.
I will say, let's just hope that they ignore all the record-breaking sales that happened over the weekend and on Monday. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Hey, Rich, thanks so much for joining us again today. I'm glad you had a great Thanksgiving. Thanks, everyone out there. We are thankful for you, and we'll see you next time on Today in Mortgages. Today in Mortgages is produced by Network Funding LP, which is an equal housing lender, NMLS 2297. The content of this program is meant to be a commentary on mortgage and real estate news, and any discussion of rates and or products should not be taken as an individual mortgage or home buying advice or pricing estimates. And any commentary on this show should not be considered a promise to make a loan. All applicants for a loan must qualify, and you should consult a professional regarding your individual loan scenarios for your financial situation. Visit our website at nflp.com/licenses for all state licensing and other legal information.